In this video, I'm going to show you the one daily habit you need to adapt in order to finally achieve your weight loss goals. In my personal humble opinion, it's the key to everything. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my students, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. Before we get started, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. It really helps support my channel. All right, let's get into it. Okay, it's actually kind of a twofold strategy, but they definitely tie into each other. First, don't have 0 days. I've mentioned this tip in passing in my other videos, but I feel like it deserves more attention because now that I've thought about it, it's really the key to everything. Assuming that you're armed with the right information, and we're strictly talking about just the execution part. A 0 day is where you do absolutely nothing towards your goal. Think of life as binary. Either you're right, 1, or you're wrong, 0. You're doing something, 1, or you're not, 0. The idea of no 0 days is to do something every single day that moves you towards your goal. To build a string of 1s instead of 0s. You never ever post a goose egg, and this is completely within your control, unless you're physically incapacitated. For example, when life happens and you can't make it to the gym, we tend to just give up on working out and consider that day a write-off, which makes absolutely no sense if you ask me. The problem is, once we accumulate 2 or 3 days of doing nothing, it's so much easier to just give up completely. We magically start getting caught up with other things, and quitting altogether becomes way more enticing every day. Sound familiar? So the way to make real, lasting, sustainable change is to make sure you never have a 0 day. Strive for a string of non-zeros, like do 1 push-up, go for a 1-minute walk, do a micro workout like 20 air squats. If you can't make it to the gym, eat 1 healthy meal instead of just completely writing off the entire day when you're having a bad day and you just want to eat your feelings away. Anything to make sure that you're making even the smallest progress towards your goal. Because little progress is better than no progress at all. It might not be much, but hey, it's a 1 instead of a 0. It still counts. But I always like to say that there are levels. Let's say you do slip up, which happens to, I don't know, everyone. Oftentimes, we just default to this all or nothing mentality. We think that if we slip up on our diet, then we just ruin everything. We act like missing 1 day at the gym means we're a failure, which is such a ridiculous mentality. I want you to zoom out on everything for a second, because one-off mistakes like that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Listen, it's not a big deal. Instead, it's the second mistake you should be more worried about. According to a study published in the European Journal of Social Psychology, missing 1 opportunity to perform the behavior did not materially affect the habit formation process. Here's the catch. It doesn't affect the habit formation process if you find a way to get back on track. If you really think about it, people at the highest level of their respective fields make mistakes all the time. Athletes skip training days. You can bet that your favorite fitness influencer eats unhealthy meals. Why? Because they're human, just like you and me. Everyone makes mistakes. It's almost completely naive to think that it's not going to happen to you. The real question you should be asking is what separates the elite from everyone else? What distances the men from the boys? It's not perfection. It's consistency. Going back to the study, with repetition of a behavior in a consistent context, automaticity increases. You have to understand that the first mistake is never the one that ruins you. Again, we all mess up. It's the spiral of repeated mistakes that follows. The problem is not slipping up. It's never about that. The problem is thinking that if you can't do something perfectly, then you shouldn't do it at all. So the most important thing is not to prevent mistakes altogether. That's like trying not to get wet when it's raining outside. The real question, if you ask me, is to avoid making a mistake twice in a row, because that is the start of a new unhealthy habit. You need to stop it on its tracks before it snowballs into something bigger. This is why learning how to get back on track quickly is so important. You should check out this video if you want to know more about it. But here's 2 of my favorite strategies. First, forget about it. This in itself, in my opinion, is a superpower, but you need to have selective amnesia, because ruminating about a mistake won't get you anywhere. There's absolutely no point dwelling in the past. Again, a one-off mistake doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. What you definitely don't want to do is beat yourself up about it, because in the history of feelings, nobody has ever benefited from that. The interesting thing is when researchers did an MRI on the brain, anytime we feel guilt or shame, it actually activates the reward center in the brain. And in comes the desire to satisfy that reward craving. This is why the gambler is gonna double down when he's losing, because he feels guilty. When we feel bad about slipping up when it comes to food. We reward ourselves with more food. And it's not the good kind. We switch to the seafood diet. We see food, we eat it. But if you just forgive yourself and forget about it, you can get back on track right at that moment. The interesting thing is all of this is happening in between your ears. This is why I'm convinced that weight loss is all in our head. It's 10% having the right information and 90% mental. Next, identify and eliminate the thing that took you off track. If you slipped up and made a mistake, do a little detective work and figure out why it happened. Again, no need to play jury, judge, and executioner. Just figure out where it went wrong. After that, you can work towards eliminating the trigger. Use the concept of addition by subtraction. Just like with a lot of things in life, you don't have to be perfect to achieve your weight loss goals. Strive for perfection, but know that there's going to be bumps along the way. It's part of the process. You just have to be consistent. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I was finally able to get rid of all my unwanted body fat without depriving myself of my favorite foods or spending countless hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my students, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. Hey, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week, and feel free to leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Virtual high five.